This is Daryl Evans with Kings Vision at LAKings.com with Kings insider John Rosen. Game 1 of Series 2 against the San Jose Sharks. Should be an interesting series. These two teams matched up very well during the regular season. Close games. Both teams excelling on home ice. That's going to be a big difference. Both teams had exceptional home ice records this year, and I'm sure the Kings are looking forward to taking advantage of that here in Game 1 of the series.
Absolutely. Home ice is key in this series, and as we saw back in the St. Louis series, the first team to be able to go into the other team's building, win a game, that's going to have a big say just on the direction of how this series goes. It didn't take until Game 5 of the last series. The Kings looking to defend home ice in their first series in which they have opened at home since 1992. The Kings have not won a series in which they had home ice advantage since the first round of the 1991 series. We're going all the way back to the Smythe Division games back then. Of course, the Kings beating Vancouver in the first round, Smythe Division semifinals in 91, then losing in 2 straight years to the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games, Smythe Division finals in 91, Smythe Division finals in semifinals in 1992. But we're looking more now right here at the Western Conference semifinals as LA looking to come out, defend home ice here against the San Jose Sharks.
Well, John, probably rolling around in some Pampers back there in 91, 92, but I think probably of any of the series, home ice, I think, is very important in this one, just because of what both teams established and probably what it means in the mental part of the game for both sides. I think the Kings at home here having the last line change, especially here in Game 1, where both teams come in tonight, going to feel each other out, even though they're very familiar with each other. I think the Kings, they've got a little bit more momentum, having just finished their series. A few days ago, San Jose's got a little bit of rust. They haven't played for a while. They swept their series against the Vancouver Canucks. So I think it does give the Kings an opportunity early on for Daryl Sutter to get the matchups that he wants out there, just to get a feel of the way things are going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was talking to the players over the last several days, asking them if this is the right amount of time between series, so that it's not too long that you have a little bit of rust, right amount of time that you can still nurse some of those bumps and bruises, be able to go back into that next round. Of course, last year the Kings seemingly had a week and a half in between series, in which they won their first series by 5 games, 4 games in their second series, 5 games in their third series. And really the player says it doesn't matter. They're going to be ready for the drop of the puck regardless. They feel very comfortable here in this building. They love being able, especially here, now that the schedule and rhythm has changed a little bit and they're having their morning skates here at Staples Center. They love being able to be in that dressing room in the morning, in the evening, feel very comfortable here. And again, like you said, maybe a little bit of a feeling out process early on in Game 1, but these are two heavy rivals here in the Pacific Division. It should be some very compelling hockey over the course of this series, which should extend past the 4 games, no doubt.
And when you look at this series, I think the goaltending is going to be a real battle between both teams. Jonathan Quick is playing his best hockey of the year. We all know what he did last year, the Conn Smythe winner, the Kings' most valuable player last year throughout the entire season. Antti Niemi this year for the San Jose Sharks, probably providing them with the goaltending, as did Jonathan Quick last year. That's one of the reasons why San Jose was able to put up such a record, and he's been outstanding again in the postseason.
The comparison to Jonathan Quick is very accurate. You look at San Jose earlier in the year, this was a team that was having trouble scoring goals. The first time that these two teams met, San Jose ranked 29th in the National Hockey League in goals scored. Now you look at them, they were able to provide that backbone. Niemi was similar to what Quick did last year because he was so strong throughout the entire season. It allowed the Sharks to be able to find their legs, their scoring lines, and of course Brent Burns moving up to forward has kind of evened their lines out a little bit. They're no longer top heavy. They have 4 lines that can really do a lot of damage. But what Niemi has done this year, Vezina candidate, somewhat similar to Jonathan Quick last year. He's been fantastic for San Jose, very dangerous in net. You're looking at a couple of cup winners on opposite sides of the rink here. Niemi with Chicago back in 2010, as we all know, Jonathan Quick last year with the Kings.
And when you have strong goaltending, another area that really becomes important in the game is going to be the special teams. In the opening series against Vancouver, San Jose struck for 7 power play goals. The Kings, on the other hand, they had a couple in the series against the St. Louis Blues. They give up the 1 shorthanded goal against. I think the specialty teams in this series are going to be extremely important. I think the team that can win that battle, first of all, you got to stay out of the penalty box. You don't want to allow the other team to be able to get that many advantages having the extra time. So I think power play, penalty kill is going to be important.
Absolutely, especially as you mentioned, considering these two teams do not go to the penalty box that often. These are two very disciplined teams. Throughout the regular season and the head-to-head matchup, these two teams combined for only 16 power plays in the 4 games that they played each other. So the power play going to be very key. You look at San Jose, really a staple of some of the Sharks' success over the last decade has been their special teams. They were, again, when the Kings first met them earlier on in the season, in the third tier, kind of in that 20 to 30 range of power play teams. They finished 7th in the league in the power play in the regular season. This is a team that is entering the playoffs, playing their best hockey. 4-game sweep of the the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. Really, their offense has been carried by a power play that has been very effective. Logan Couture among the most feared snipers in the entire National Hockey League. All 3 of his goals scored in the first round against the Vancouver Canucks came on the power play. You look at the LA Kings themselves, players like Drew Doughty being able to pull the strings back there. Obviously, Jeff Carter possessing that terrific shot. LA has plenty of weapons themselves on the front and back ends that should make for some very compelling special teams play as well.
I think when you go back and you look at the series between these two teams during the regular season, the big names, Anze Kopitar, Mike Richards, Jeff Carter, neither one of those players scored a goal for the Kings. So that's an area where the Kings are going to have to get contribution. One player that did stand out for the San Jose Sharks, Brett Burns, a kind of forward defenseman. He was their leading scorer against the Kings, picking up 8 points in the series. He had an outstanding series against the Kings. Kings are going to have to deal with him. But I think important for the Kings, Kopitar, Richards, and Jeff Carter, those guys have to figure on the sheet in order for the Kings to move on to the to get to the next round.
Absolutely. Kings' top players have to be their best players. I don't want to even think about what Brent Burns' beard is going to look like if this series goes 7 games, if you've seen his headshot from the very beginning of the season. That's what Justin Williams said on the conference call several days ago. He said that the LA Kings top lines, they have to be their best players. LA got by in a series in St. Louis in which they were really relying on a very strong defense that held together. Jonathan Quick, obviously. If this LA team can continue to get those goals from Kopitar, they came late in the series. Jeff Carter as well. Dustin Brown, who came along as well and was a very effective player, especially over the final 4 games of that first round series. Then LA absolutely has those offensive weapons, not only just offensive weapons, but top end guys that should be able to propel them to a very strong performance here against the San Jose Sharks.
Well, game 1 tonight, just hours away from starting. Should be an exciting one. The Kings will look to take a 1-0 lead in the series. They've had an exceptional run here on home ice this year, a league high 19 wins, 19-4-1 during the regular season, 3 wins against the Blues in the opening round. For John Rosen, I'm Daryl Evans for Kings Vision at LAKings.com.